Cool. Yeah. So I never really. I think it's episode 47 now. I should really learn have an introductory script like "Hello, welcome." But I feel that sounds scripted, so I always think
Mm,
the best is just do record and then just see how it goes.
yeah.
To be honest, so yeah, like we spoke already, so I know it's gonna be a nice one. So I'll do a little intro now. Hello,
Okay.
welcome to another episode of Sit Down for Stand Up. I have Alfie Howard with me from Essex. Luckily, he's taken his time away from Epping hotels to come speak to me.
That was supposed to be private.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So I saw the swastika, I gave it away. Fuck it,
Oh, I thought
Essex.
I'd covered it up.
Essex is yeah, so did he. Essex is fun right now, isn't it? Bloody hell.
Oh, well, as it always is.
Yeah. Yeah. So, first, how are we, Alfie? We good?
I'm good, thank you.
Good
And
man, good
yourself?
man. Yeah, good. Cheers. Thanks, brother. So, I always start sort of the same way. How and why did we get into comedy?
Okie dokie. I always wanted to do comedy. As we spoke a little bit beforehand, I used to be a really fat kid. Um, and I feel like as it comes with being a little chubster in school, humour's a defence mechanism. Most of the fat kids in school will at least try to be funny. I think I sort of honed the craft. Yeah.
Funny man, that
uh,
I'm still trying to be funny because I'm still fat,
yeah, I think I honed the craft just from like, oh, please don't punch me. Let me tell you a joke instead. So yeah, I always thought of myself as being quite a funny person. I always wanted to do comedy. Like, I've always watched like stand up ever since I was like a little kid. I remember probably being like 8, 9, 10, watching like Lee Evans specials on DVD, like Michael McIntyre, stuff like that. So it's always something I've always wanted to do. And then last year, there's a company called Ultra. Um, and so I saw that they were doing it where you get like 8 weeks of sitting down with a professional. They teach you the skills you need, and then at the end you perform 5 minutes and you raise money for charity. So in my mind, I was like, I'm going to do that because then if I am shit, am I allowed to swear? I never asked. I'm actually not.
crack on, yeah, swear away.
Yeah, I figured if I am shit, it's for charity, so no one can really say anything. And then we move on, and then I did it, and it went so much better than expected. I was the first person on for the night as well, so I was sort of Bumhole was winking at me. It was really scared, and it went really, really well. Everyone was so lovely, and then I sort of it must. I assume it's what people who do heroin feel like. I was just like, well, I've got to keep doing it. I've got to keep getting that rush. So yeah, that's sort of how and why. And I've always like one of my biggest inspirations in like acting and comedy is Robin Williams.
Oh,
So I've always wanted to be that kind of person that just makes people happy, makes people laugh, brings them a bit of joy. So I was like, what's the best way to do that? Stand up, and then if they don't laugh, then you call them a cunt or a pedo.
or a puntish pedo, you know,
Yeah,
best
yeah,
of
exactly.
best of both worlds. You got comedy sort of, about roughly a year ago. Was it Ultrasound? Is that Duncan's one?
Uh, that's a really good question. I don't know.
Yeah, 'cause a lot of people do sort of come from
Oh wait, is Duncan? Is that guy? The Hearts
Duncan
Workshop?
Hart.
No, I don't think it's his, unless it is, and I'm just an idiot. But I don't know. That's what we'll go with.
So coming from the theatrical background, what sort of skills transitions from being a theatre to on the stage, nobby no mates?
um, I feel like so. Yeah, I've done like theatre, so I'm used to being on a stage with
Mm.
people looking at me. Like I feel like if someone does it for the first time and they've never experienced it, it can be quite daunting to be like, oh, there are now like in a good gig, a couple of hundred people looking at you. In a shit gig, there are now 8 people staring at me.
For the
But yeah, so I
comedians.
feel like that. Yeah, that is a gig that I've done before where there was one audience member and the 8 comedians performing for that night. It was quite a fun night. But yeah, we was. I feel like that's transition. I feel comfortable being on the stage, um, and like with like act like in the acting, I do like lots of comedy roles.
Okay, cool.
So I sort of understand like when you need to pause. I understand the inflections of what people find funny, like how facial expressions can really help you. Um, and like I've done like pantomimes and stuff like that before, so I know like you've got to look at the audience. You can't just talk to the corner of the wall and pretend they don't exist because then they feel
No, you
disconnected.
haven't. Sorry, twitching so bad to do it.
Yeah.
Oh no, you haven't. Oh yes, I have. Sorry,
No, no, no.
I apologise to everyone for how bad that joke truly was. I'm sorry.
I don't. I loved it.
Thank you. Oh, I knew we were going to get on. So, how did you? So, did you find learning your not script, learning your comedy routine fairly easy then, due to that experience?
Yeah, yeah. So I feel like whenever I write a joke, I have a rough idea of it almost immediately. Like I've had gigs before where literally 10 minutes before I've gone on, I've written down an idea for a joke and I've remembered what I want to say. Uh, it does come with its downfalls because outside of learning comedy and learning like film scripts or play scripts or whatever, I've got the memory of a sieve. Um, I'd forget my own birthday if it weren't all about me. Um,
Really?
and
Oh, that's
I know. Like I have to have a notes list on my phone of information about my girlfriend so I don't forget because I know I'll get in trouble if I forget her star sign or something like that.
very important things, them horoscopes. Some
Exactly.
reason, don't know, never know why. So, what's the comedy scene like in Essex?
It's all right. Like so I've always found like I love it. I love doing the gigs in London, but I feel like with a London crowd, it can be so varied.
Such as?
Like you'll have like one audience that might love your sense of humor, and then the same venue but a different audience 2 days later might absolutely despise you. Whereas at least with my sense of humor, I feel like an Essex crowd like my humor because they're very. It's how I imagine. I've never done it, but it's how I imagine like a Liverpool comedy crowd are. Like they're very raucous. They're down for anything. Like you can't really say much to offend them.
Yes. I mean,
Um,
have you got an example from this where you won, absolutely killed it, done it again, and it's fallen on its ass?
yeah. So I did the beat the blackout.
Up the creek.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
Greenwich. Gang, gang. Yeah.
so the first time I did it, I was the third comedian to go on, and I was the first comedian of the night to beat it. So I did my 5 minutes it's like my best five. It's the five. It's like my go-to five. Um, the first half of jokes are about my nan dying. Um, and I'm sure you can imagine like the jokes that I call her a bitch.
Yeah.
I imply that I fuck nans, not my own nan, because that would be too far. And then the second half is about my girlfriend. My girlfriend's deaf; she's hard of hearing. She wears hearing aids, so I make jokes in sign language. Like one of the jokes I make, yeah. Like one of the jokes I make is I say like she can't always hear what I'm saying because she's got hearing aids and can turn them off. I can't always hear what she's saying because she's got boobs and takes her bra off in front of me, stuff like that. Um, First audience loved it. I was the first comedian of the night to beat the blackout.
Yeah. And third spot as
Uh,
well.
Yeah, yeah. So the
That's a hard
first two,
spot. That's a hard spot
yeah,
because usually they've had a telling off by then to be a prick.
yeah, yeah. Well, for the first two comedians as well, like they didn't make it through, and I thought they were quite good. I wouldn't have like paddled them
Yeah.
personally. Um, and then because those first two didn't make it through, and I was like, "Oh, this audience are being harsh." Because I find like with the Gong shows, the audience are either too nice and they're letting bloody everyone through, or they're like, "Oh, two people are getting through tonight. Good luck." Um, so
Mm.
yeah, it went really well. I beat the blackout. Second night, the second time I did it, they weren't an audience for that type of humor. I
Yeah.
found so you got the 2 minute grace period. 2 minute grace period. I could hear they weren't enjoying me joking about my nan dying, and me calling her selfish and an attention seeker and stuff like that. And I don't think they appreciated it when I went, "She's my nan." Tried to backchat a bit, and literally I got to
It was.
doing the joke. Huh? Oh, it
Was.
was my nan. It was my. It was my nan. Rest in peace. She's in hell. She was a bit racist.
Hedge your bets, you know.
Oh, my nan. She would have been hanging outside Epping Hotel right now. That's what she would
Yeah.
have been. But yeah. So about 30, not even 30 seconds after the grace period ended, I got voted out after I said my nan died a third time. They just weren't there for it. Which is fair. Comedy's subjective, absolutely fine. Um, but like that one woman in particular who had a paddle didn't like me because about 10 seconds in, not even 10 seconds
The
after the grace
2 minutes.
period,
Hmm.
10 seconds in the whole set, she tried to put her paddle up and her boyfriend had to put her arm down. But no, you can't do it yet, you idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like yeah, so with like a London crowd, it's like that, and then with an Essex crowd, I've never had that joke not go well.
Hmm.
Like you're like when I imply that I fuck nans, like you get the odd like people like oh, but you can tell it's in jest. They're not actually disgusted by it because they understand that I'm not serious.
It's like a shock value.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Hmm. I mean, I'm glad to hear that the Essex scene is sort of like the Liverpool Manchester scene, which I am truly envious of, and I can't wait to go gigging up there. I plan on doing it next year, buying a van, chucking a mattress in the back, and being a nomad for like 3 months
Yeah,
because London scene is, it's the ism scene. You can't do
yeah,
racism, you can't do sexism, you can't do any sort of any tongue-in-cheek joke that we would find funny. And
yeah,
I just don't know. But then, okay, I want to go a bit controversial here. I don't understand why gay people can do as much gay smutty jokes as possible, but I can't do smutty jokes
yeah,
in London. Is it because we're not box ticking? I don't know. I won't. You can voice your opinion on that if you want. That's just my own personal one.
yeah. I'm not. I don't know really. Like, I feel like because I don't think any of my jokes are controversial, particularly like so. Like I make jokes about my girlfriend being deaf, and someone called me ableist once, and I was like, but I bring her pleasure in the bedroom. I'm allowed to say what I want about her, and they didn't appreciate that.
Orgasm equals one joke. There's a
Yeah,
tally. There's a tally
yeah,
chart.
exactly. Like I'm now even. I'm now even. So I got to try and get one up now. Um,
I'm in deficit for months.
I
Had to stop gigging.
was trying. That's why I took a little like 2 month break. I had to try and like get. Um, but like it's the thing I like. I pointed out. I chatted to the woman that said that afterwards, and like she was joking when she said it. But it's like I pointed out. I said like I'm not saying there's anything wrong with her being disabled. I'm just having a laugh about it. And also, I always double check the jokes with her. She would tell me she's also from Essex. She's got a gob on her. Like she would tell me if she didn't like my joke. She would
Yeah,
call it out in the moment. She's more likely to heckle me than anyone else.
yeah.
So yeah.
So what sort of material do we are we a storyteller? Are we a one-liner?
So I do a mix of like storytelling.
Yeah.
I write comedy music.
Okay.
Uh, so I've got like a little ukulele because I'm 6'3" and I just think it's really funny to have such a tall man with such a tiny little guitar. So like I write songs about the fact that I look quite young because I got ID for a bloody lemsip once. I write jokes about like all of my mates and everyone tell me I've got ADHD. So I write a song about having ADHD because one in every one comedian has it.
What's everyone now got ADHD or they're autistic?
I know.
Like
And
everyone
then
says, everyone lists their disabilities as soon as they get on stage.
so I always joke about that because I don't. I always say that I don't think I've got it. I think I'm a hyperactive person, but I do drink probably about 12 monsters a day. But that's in the hopes that one day Monster will sponsor me, and then I'll just get free monsters for life.
I did.
And then I do like comedy raps as well because I just think there's nothing funnier than a lanky white man rapping. Um, so like as you'll have seen, my name is spelt wrong. I don't have an e at the end of my name. That is how my name is spelt on my birth certificate because my mum is from Essex, so therefore can't spell. Um, so I have a whole rap about the spelling of my name, which I've got it professionally recorded because I want to try and turn it into like a funny music video because I think that would go quite well on things like TikTok and Instagram. And then hopefully I'd like to do like an hour show, maybe at Fringe next year or something like that. And I think that could be like a good start of it would be like that music video.
Yeah. I mean, speaking to Alistair Barry, Alistair Barry,
I've heard the
comedian.
name.
If you Google
Yeah,
him, you'll know him straight away. Bald dude, fucking, he's in the game since 1998, and he said that Edinburgh Fringe isn't what it used to be. It's no longer
yeah,
the gateway into the comedy world. Sort of. There's many
Yeah,
other places, many other like Watford Fringe is good. Go down to Brighton Fringe instead. Like, do you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
because it used to be you go there and an agent would find you, but agents don't even go to comedy clubs anymore because everything's online.
yeah.
You know, they become lazy buggers,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is an issue. So, we've only done about a year. What's Are we doing five still? Are we doing? Are we moved on to tens? I presume Essex isn't a bringer place.
There are some places that are bringers. So like when I do my gigs, I don't do bringers
Good man.
purely, but purely based on the fact like my issue with bringers, I get why it's done,
Mm,
but I feel like sometimes it's not fair because people have lives. Like you can't always expect your mate to give up their Monday evening to come and sit in a comedy club,
mm,
watch you do 5 minutes, and then potentially pay a tenner. So and however much it costs them to travel into London or wherever. I always, whenever I book comedians, I tell them if you can bring a
mm.
bringer, that'd be fantastic
Yeah.
because it makes the audience look bigger. But I'm not going to stop you performing if you can't.
Mm.
So it's like an as optional bringer is the way I would describe it. Um, and like there are a few other gigs, they're not bringers. They're normally done in pubs, so there's going to be an audience there anyways. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Normally they're wankered because they're Essex and they're in a place with alcohol. So that's yeah, you're asking for them to get drunk. You can't expect them not to go. They've got to deal with the fact they're in Essex. They need alcohol.
But mate, I can't wait to go gigging in Essex. Like personally, I'm a little bit run. I know London is London, but I think my comedy is more for the towns.
Yeah, that's what I find sometimes with some of my. I think I've got some stuff that is like tame enough that any audience will probably like it. But I feel like my funniest stuff is for like your town people, like from Essex or your Liverpools and stuff like that, or even Scotland. I've never like so I'm going down to Fringe for a
Tanning
few
beds
days.
in a town.
Yeah, yeah.
You're going, you're going to the fringe.
Oh yeah, so I'm going to Fringe for a few days with my girlfriend to like watch some shows and that. And I booked a few 5 minute gigs while I'm down there, so
Yeah.
this will be like my test of does it translate up that way?
Uh, I had to reach out, but my boy Kai Carson from Liverpool, he's up at Fringe, and
Yeah.
he's doing a special and yeah, I'm trying to hype him because like he's fucking brilliant, love him.
Is
So
it is he performing the whole time?
pardon?
Is he performing the whole like run?
He's doing an hour, yeah,
Cool. I might try and catch him while I'm down there.
yeah, because he's doing a I mean I clipped a bit. He's doing carrot in a box, but instead it's butt plug in a box or
Butt plug in a
something,
box.
and
Yeah.
I think his boyfriend or his gay partner or his gay mate are doing it, and yeah, it fucking killed me. Like, I'm a straight heterosexual man, but I appreciate the art, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the beautiful thing. So at the moment, how often do you run your event?
I've been trying to do it twice a month.
Mhm.
Um, but I work two jobs. Um, like jobs that actually pay outside of comedy. um, and I've got my own theatre company and I do the acting. So at the very least, I'll do one a month, but I aim to do two a month. I would like to at one point get it to a place where I can do it more regularly. I've got so I work in like a laser tag they've got laser tag escape rooms at Throne. It's like an entertainment center, so that's where I run it. I've had a few people approach me from different places in the area asking to do a comedy club. Um, and the other company I work for is All Bar One in London,
Standard, yeah.
and they do like music in some of the venues like once a week. And the guy that runs the music, he said he wants to start doing comedy in one of the All Bar Ones, and so he wants my help with that. So hopefully it could be a thing that I might not be the same venue every week, but I could basically have a weekly gig would be nice, or even bi-weekly.
Stand on the bar then, are you one of them people?
Yeah, I'm a bartender. I make the cocktails and that.
And you got to like throw ice around and
No, no, no. So no, I don't throw the ice around.
we
I've
haven't
only
got to
done
that stage yet.
no, I've only done it for 2 weeks. I'm taking baby steps. I can just
Babies.
about do the
Okay. You got to do the
with the
crushed
shirt.
ice. You got to
Yeah, the
work your
shirt.
way up.
Yeah, I'm very conscious of doing the shaking to make it look to try and not look like I'm like wanking off an invisible man in my face.
Well, I don't. I own a pub in Dartford, and when I did cocktails, I used to always say I was a cockologist, and that never went down well. I tried that joke once on stage, it didn't bang. But
I'm a psychologist. That's or a cockmaster.
I'm a cockmaster, yeah, yeah. I stir it. I don't know, like yeah. Sometimes I shake it. I don't know. Like there must be something there,
There's
in
got
the
to be something
depth.
there.
There's
I've
got to
got
be a bit there.
great wrist
Yeah,
action with the cock.
I'm all right now. No lefty. Yeah, you want to stir it properly? It's this bad boy. So
If you want it
what would you
properly
say?
mixed, it's this one.
So what would you say in a year? What would you say your favourite joke is so far?
Oh, I think one of my favourite jokes I've done. It's definitely up there. I don't know if it's definitely my favourite, but it's one that I came up with 5 minutes before going on stage, and then I've stuck with it. So I do all my jokes about my girlfriend, and like so I play the ukulele, and then I say I've written a song about her, and I start playing the ukulele. I'm like, this is the sounds my girlfriend hears. 3, 2, 1, and then I mime playing and mouth, so it's silent.
Yep.
And normally the audience will be like, oh, like they laugh, but it's a bit like, oh, you're an arsehole. So now I'll turn to the audience. I go, so ladies and gentlemen, obviously I am a cunt. So to my girlfriend, I popped the big question. And the audience were like, ooh. I say, yep. I asked for anal. She
Yep,
said no.
standard. Yeah.
She said no. I said why. She said because you keep referring to it as parking in the disabled bay. I said you've got a blue badge. Why can't I have a brown badge? No, I
Really?
think but one that I came up with literally just on the spot, tried it on the night. It went so well on the night, and I've sort of kept it. It's now sort of a little. It's a part of like my when I do like a long like if I've done a few gigs where I've like headlined and I've got like 20 minutes and it's like part of that big set. It's not part of my 5 minutes because
Yeah.
it comes a bit later, and I feel like in a 5 minute set it might that would have to that would fall towards the end of the 5 minutes, and I feel like I can't leave an audience on anal.
Oh, you never know. And what's a joke you've written in the past that at the time you thought, oh, this is a killer, and it ends up being the worst piece of shit in the world?
So I did a gig once, and I wanted to. I was. It was like a point when I kept watching like TikToks and videos of like people doing impressions,
Mhm.
and so I like doing the impressions. And I've come to the conclusion that unless you're fucking phenomenal at it, the audience hate you if you do impressions. And so I wanted to do a whole bit. It was at my own gig, and I tried to do because I like try and do at my gigs like almost like panel shows. Like I've done my own version of Would I Lie to You, Big
Oh,
Fat
it's
Greasy.
the Robbie Williams.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, and
yeah.
so I tried to do a bit like playing a game with the audience. I was like, I'm gonna read out some famous quotes, but as impressions, and I want you to guess who the quote is and who the impression is. So like, I did what ones did I do? So I did Mickey Mouse doing the Prince Andrew like I don't sweat quote, like when he says I don't sweat, I didn't sweat on that girl. Um, and then I did like Jar Jar Binks doing the I Have a Dream speech.
What, Martin Luther?
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Oh, we still gonna
so
die. We still have a dream.
yeah, like I tried to do like a few different ones like that. Like I did what's another one? I know I did like Stitch doing one of them. I know I did Stitch doing the Donald Trump grab him by the pussy, that whole thing.
Oh, we still grab them back. Do you have like
And
an
then
open phase to get into an accent?
do I what?
Like an open phase to get into an accent? At Liverpool, you goes like pack of cliffs and a can of cork,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you can start
Yeah,
talking in that way.
some ones I do, not all of them. So like Mickey Mouse, it always has to start with
Oh,
the like, whoa, hi, like that.
oh,
Um,
hello. Yeah.
yeah. Jar Jar Binks is always there like Misa.
Are
Um,
we still gonna die, Lisa? That's also Lilo and
and
Stitch. They're not far
yeah,
apart.
that's why I do them both. Like Stitch, Jar Jar Binks, Mr. Bean, and Snape all have the same part of the voice. They're all like, oh, like Mr. Potter and stuff like that. They're all
Mate,
sit
yeah.
in the same part of the voice for me. Um, but yeah, some of them I certainly do have set phrases that I need to go into, but then some of them I can just sort of turn them on and do them.
I've got an interesting one for you that you might try out or never try out. It was always you know, it's like you say like historical quote, and you got to say was it like Hitler who said this, or was it Gandhi? Was it Martin Luther King who said this, or Stalin?
Yeah,
And you always have got to guess like who said it.
yeah,
And it's like the most like profound quotes have end up being like the most like pious, nice people. Because
yeah,
like Hitler, believe it or not, Hitler wasn't the greatest of men. But he did have a
yeah,
couple of banging quotes out there, like his generalization at the beginning. Like, no, not generalization,
yeah,
but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
so been interesting. So, would you say, because your comedy goes? See, I've just quickly segued from my appallingness. Uh, transfer that over. So, would you say in
Very
the
good.
comedy world you can joke about anything?
I think to a certain extent, yes. I just think, I think the main thing to like joking about anything, it does have to be funny.
Mhm.
I think when something's really funny, an audience will be really forgiving. Like I think the jokes I make about like my girlfriend, if they weren't funny, I do just look like a dick.
Yeah,
Um, I am just taking the mick out of someone with a disability. Um, Whereas because they're jokes, and I think you can tell it comes from a place of love. I
mm.
think it helps that she's there, and then I can always fall back and be like, "You're fine with it, aren't you? You're fine with
Here
it, aren't
she
you?"
is.
Say,
Bring her out on stage. Give her a round of applause. There's no point. She can't hear it.
I just signed to her. They applauded you. I can see that they fucking shut up, shut up. Um, so I think within certain extents, yes. I also think it depends on the timing. Like I feel like if you make a joke about something that has happened that day, people are going to be a bit like it's like too fresh.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
feel like if there was like a mass shooting and then you were joking about it 2 hours later, it's going to come across in poor taste. But I feel like a month later, people are sort of over it and they might find it funny again,
Mm.
assuming that it's a funny joke and not just someone being a knobhead.
Yeah, I guess most importantly, it's got to be funny because crowd work's one thing because that's in the moment, but with your written material, you've decided to go onto stage to say that.
Mm.
So it's got to be funny because you've
Yeah,
chose to go onto them topics, so you've got to have that comedic element
yeah,
to go onto them. So
yeah.
yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. So say if you did a joke and it absolutely fell on its ass, how would you try and win the crowd back?
See, I think the best thing to do is to sort of acknowledge that it's fallen its ass
Okay.
and almost like call yourself out and take the piss out of it. Like when I've gone to comedy clubs, I love going to Top Secret to their new material nights, and like these are obviously like professionals who are at the height of their game. They're going about, they're doing all these paid gigs, and so like one example comes to mind. There's Larry Dean,
Yes.
um, and he was there, and it was the new material night, and I love him. He's so funny. Like I really want to watch one of his like hour-long shows one day.
Yeah.
And he made a joke about like bumming. Obviously, he's a homosexual man. I can't remember the context of the joke, but it was a joke about bumming, and the audience did. I found it really funny, and I sort of started to chuckle and was like, "No one else is laughing. I'm gonna shut up." And like so a few of the audience were like, "Oh, like they weren't the biggest fan of it." He picked up his notepad, crossed the line for it, and then put not funny brackets too rapey. And then that got the audience back on side. They started laughing,
Yep.
and again they found that funny. So I feel like, yeah, you've just got to sort of lean into the fact, make a joke about the fact the joke's not funny, and that gets the audience back. And if you can't do that, then I think you literally just have to move on.
Okay. And how is your crowd work, would you say?
I think it's all right. I am a very naturally awkward person in real life, so
Mhm.
I feel like sometimes when I do crowd work, I think that awkwardness comes across. But I've been told by people after gigs it comes across as like quite endearing.
Okay, that's good.
Um,
Good to help us that way. Yeah.
yeah, and so like a lot of my crowd work half the time is I will normally pick a middle-aged man in the front row. I'll what's your name? Fantastic, blah blah blah, and I'll use them as like my comfort, my safety blanket. And I'll normally make a joke. So my dad left when I was 2, and I normally bring that up. And I'm like, "Oh mate, do you want to be? What's your name? Oh
Yes.
Steve." yeah, I'm like, oh, all right, Steve, do you want to be my dad? You don't have to fuck my mum. Don't worry. Don't blame me there. Ugh, that's, I wouldn't. It's like I make like jokes like that, and like when I host my own nights as the MC, your job a lot of the time is to warm the audience up and talk to the audience, focus on the crowd work, deal with the hecklers. And I feel like it's not too bad. I'm quite good at thinking on my feet.
Yes.
Um,
Well,
so
that's
like I
come with
did a
experience.
yeah. I feel like especially like again back to fat kid in school, you got to think on your feet to not get punched.
Yes.
You don't want to get punched in the tit, so you got to make a funny joke in the moment. So I did a gig the other week. It's called the Ginger Giggle Comedy Club. It's
Mm.
a mate of mine. His name's Ben Summers. He's ginger, hence the name. And this audience, it was in Grays, and the audience, some of them. So there was two blokes who were drunk and they were sort of heckling, but they were funny with their heckles. They knew when to shut up. They weren't interrupting jokes. They were waiting until punchlines were done. But there was this family who were just having out loud conversations and arguments with each other over the comedians, which is just quite rude. And they were all drunk, and like I was trying to like make jokes, not jokes with them. I was just trying to when they were like heckling, I was like, yeah, how about shut the fuck up?
Mm.
Or like there was a moment someone spoke about prostitutes, and there was like, oh, there's probably a couple of prostitutes in Grays, and I was like, yeah, I'm sure there is. And I just happened to look at a woman sitting near me, and so, like, I was pretending to. I was like, no, no, I'm not saying you're a prostitute. You make a lovely prostitute. I'm sure you would. You're a lovely lady, but like and like, I think my awkwardness helps the
Yes.
awkwardness of crowd work because some people don't want to be spoken to. So I think if it comes across like I feel awkward speaking to them, it levels it out. I think.
And would you say if you sit in the front row, you are basically, it's like the unwritten rule, you are allowing yourself to be spoken to if you sit in the front row if you go to comedy?
I Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I feel like, of course, if it's like your first time going to a comedy club and you've made a mistake, but like you can't be a knob about it. But I feel like, yeah, I feel like if you go and sit in the front row of like they're my least favorite audience members, the people that sit in the front row and then either not give nothing back because some people are just
It's
natural
cross,
dogs.
space like slapped ass.
Yeah, and they seem like they don't want to be there, and like you try and do crowd work and they act like a bit of a dick, and you're like, all right, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like so I've been to Liverpool once. I went to the Hot Water Comedy Club,
Yeah.
and Paul Smith, obviously
Gang gang.
famous for
Yeah.
crowd work, famous for taking the mick out of people, essentially like roasting people on stage. And he was laying into this kid in the front row, and everyone found it funny, and everyone else that he laid into found it funny because they understand. This one kid said that he'd seen him on TikTok, looked like he had the piss and hump the whole time Paul Smith was taking the mick out of him, and then he left at the halfway point, like when it was like the interval. And I was like, what's like what? You've seen him on TikTok. You know what he does. What's the point? Why if you weren't that type of person that can take it, sit in the back.
I wholeheartedly agree. And there are crowd work comedians and there are like set comedians. Paul Smith is a crowd work comedian,
Yeah,
and I'll push. He is one of the best at the moment in the UK at crowd work. So if
yeah,
you go there, you've got to almost expect it. So from the perspective of an MC, okay, you're emceeing a night. I go on and I absolutely not just bomb, I piss off everyone in the room.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? I get booed off stage. I've offended everyone and anyone. Do you know what I mean? As an
yeah.
MC, how would you bring it back?
Well, so it's the first thing I'd go on. I'd sort of like gently acknowledge it. Like I'd go on. I'd be like, right, that was interesting. Like so, I'd sort of you need to show the audience that you understand how they're feeling. Um, I was sort of dependent on the comedian. If I think they could take it, I would take the piss out of the comedian.
Yeah,
Um, I say dependent on the comedian. Like if I know, like if it's like a friend of mine or someone I've gigged with before, and I know they were meaning well, I know their jokes normally go down well, and but I know they're going to be upset if then I might not. Or if they're a comedian I don't know, and I know they've just come on and been an absolute like cockwomble, then I will lay into them a little bit, but in a jokey way,
yeah,
and sort of get the audience. I will show the audience. I'll be like, look, it's not my fault.
yeah,
And then I feel like after that first initial acknowledgement, you have to sort of move on. You just have to try and essentially treat them like kids that have fallen over and cut their knee. You have to try and make them forget about it. You have to distract them, jingle the keys in their face, distract them with someone else.
Interesting.
I like going with like my next best joke that I know hits every time. Do a bit of crowd work, and then get it onto the next comedian. And like whenever I'm doing my gigs, if it's someone I don't know or I know someone that might not do well because their comedy can be controversial and it depends on the audience, I will always try to have the next person in line someone I know kills it every time.
Mm.
Because then once they're on and they've killed it, audience it'll be out of their mind. They're not going to talk about it for the rest of the night.
No, yeah, okay, that's a good answer. And so back to yourself then. As you like to try new jokes, how often do you try a new joke, and how many times will you test out a new joke before you know it bangs or you decide to get rid of it?
So I will always try to do a new if I've got it, I will always nearly every gig try and do a new joke.
Yep.
Even if it's a small one. I'll always have I like to sandwich it, like a shit sandwich as I call it. I'll normally do good joke to start with that I know hits, my best joke at the end, and I'll try and throw this new joke in the middle. So that way if it does go poorly, it still ends on the high note.
Okay.
Um and yeah, I will give it a good two, three, maybe four, five at a push test. And if it flops five times across five different audiences, especially if it's in different locations, like if it's flopped with an audience in Essex, it's flopped with an audience in London, it's flopped with an audience in Gravesend, it's like, yes, this joke is obviously just not funny. I'll either I'll adjust it between each time, but like what didn't work, I'll watch it back. What
Hmm.
could I change here? Maybe try the same bit again, maybe tweak it a tiny bit, and then if it's banging, then I'll work it into my set where I can. If it's still flopping, then it's like cool, throw that one in the dump.
Okay. And would you as you know, comedy can bang in one place and flop in another. Would you advise comedians at the beginning of their career to, perform wherever they can, whenever they can, do every room possible, even though they
I
know it
think
might not be their clientele?
I think yeah, because I think experience is experience, and doing stuff like that, you very quickly will work out what your audience is.
Mm.
Um, like like if you're performing if you're performing to one set crowd every week and you're flopping every week, people might be like, "Oh, I'm shit," and then give up. But that's not the case. It just might be that's not the audience for you. You might perform elsewhere to a different type of audience and then absolutely smash it. And you're like, "Cool, now I know who I'm performing to. Let's try these jokes on these people. Oh, I know this type of crowd likes this type of joke, whereas this type of crowd likes that." And you can adjust it based on the different audiences. I think it partially helps with your crowd work to a degree, because you learn what people like and you learn how different people are from different areas, creeds, ages, stuff like that.
Okay. I've never asked this question before, and I just thought of it.
Exclusive.
So another exclusive. And everyone who starts out comedy, I believe 9 out of 10, they want to end up becoming a famous comedian.
Yeah.
At what point do you need to accept the reality that this is just a hobby? After X amount of years, X amount of gigs, or if you're passionate, just keep on keeping on?
I think it depends on you as a person. Like I feel like if you're the type of person that is just trying really hard, you are gigging as much as humanly possible, you've got ideas, I feel like it's not a thing necessarily you have to accept. Like I think it's the same with like my acting and stuff like that. I think different things happen at different points for people.
Mm.
Like you get some comedians like Ramesh Ranganathan, Greg Davies, who didn't get their big breaks and stuff like that, or didn't even really start until they were in their 30s or later, stuff like that. But then you get some comedians who hit it straight at like 18, like Russell Howard, he and Daniel Sloss. They were pretty much big from the get go. And I think the thing that's similar across all of them is that they just kept pushing forward. They kept striving.
Yeah. Okay. Good answer. And okay, my next one. So, what? Someone's just about started out, and they're worried about getting on stage, they're nervous, but they want to try it. What advice would you give to them? And you cannot say, which I've had nearly every answer be, just do it.
Well, just do it now.
Yeah. I'm gonna get Nike to fucking sponsor me. I'll tell you that much. Every single one person said, just do it.
Have it
Like,
pop up as a graphic each time.
yeah.
Just a little like the thing of what's his face? His name, the just do it. That I forgot
Oh,
his actor's
Shia
name.
LaBeouf.
Shia
Shia
LaBeouf.
LaBeouf,
That's it.
do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think don't worry about what other people think. Um, don't even worry about what you think, because with people that aren't yourself, they're either too self-absorbed to care, too anxious to worry about anything but themselves, or they're gonna like you. And if someone doesn't like you, they're gonna see you that once. They're gonna move on. It's not gonna be the end of your life unless your joke is to the point where they're gonna phone up your work and then you're gonna get the sack. Then maybe don't make those jokes. And in regards to yourself, like, I think 99% of humans, they have the little voice in their head that slags you off, that puts you down. Everyone's got that voice. Literally everyone, like famous people, like probably Ryan Reynolds, I imagine, has that voice, and everyone wants to suck his dick. Like everyone, like I want to. I'd be lying if I didn't.
I'm in the Ryan Reynolds dick sucking camp. Like fucking. He seems like a nice bloke as well.
Yeah, and like I'm sure even he has that little voice in his head that tells him he's not good enough. That says, "Oh, that was not funny." You
Mm.
just got to ignore every gut instinct that you and every worry that you might have. I have realised that is just a longer way of saying just do it.
Hashtag just.
I think you got to have faith in yourself. You've got to fake it till you make it. Like
Okay.
you've got to have that confidence until you get that confidence,
Mm-hmm.
and it will eventually come. Like I'm nearly every gig I do, I am shitting a brick beforehand.
That was
I'm
my
so
next
very nervous.
question. Do you still get
Yeah,
nervous?
yeah. I always get nervous. I get more nervous with the comedy than I do my acting, because with the acting, I've not written it, I've not directed it. It's not me. I'm playing a part. So if people don't like any of those things, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Whereas the comedy, essentially, I've directed it, I've written it. It is me on stage. It's not a character. If people don't like it, they don't like me, is what my voice always tells me. But then you have that moment, you get a big laugh from the audience, and then the confidence comes. I'm like, I'm the fucking shit. Like,
Yeah.
who wouldn't love me? Who wouldn't love? Like, I go to my girlfriend that night. I'm
Big
like,
dick on stage.
I go back to my girlfriend that night and I'm the sexiest man. Like, you do not understand how many women were in that audience. They were coming up to me afterwards. It's a lie. They were coming up to me afterwards. They wanted me, but I came home to you.
I had to go out the fire escape. It was so. Okay, I like asking this question now, and then we'll go to you personally. What is the worst thing you've seen someone do on stage?
Oh, immediately. So I was at a little gig. I can't even remember where it was. It was somewhere in London. It was a little pub. And there was a bloke. And again, like, comedy is subjective. And like 99% of the time, I can see what the joke's supposed to be, even if it's executed poorly. I like to think I understand comedy quite well. But there was one dude, he came on. I can't remember his name, and if he's listening, I'm so sorry. Except I'm not. And he was dressed as Zorro,
Mm.
like the
My
big
mate's
hat, the
face.
bandana.
I'm joking.
It's actually my dad. Now
I told him not to do. I wrote this for him, for fuck's sake.
it was actually you. I just didn't recognise you without the Zorro mask.
Yeah.
And he came on, and it wasn't really like there was no, in my opinion, there was no joke. He came on, he was pretending to be Zorro. He got an audience up, and he was like, "Would you like to join the Church of Zorro?" And he made this dude get on his knees and like say a chant to join the Church of Zorro. It felt more like a weird skit than stand-up comedy or anything like that. But again, I didn't know what the joke was or where the humor was. The bloke he got up on stage didn't look. He looked like he wanted to die. He didn't look
Wow.
happy. And like me and my mate that were there, we were sort of looking at each other like, and then like it ends, and it's sort of like everyone's like
Yeah.
sort of like gentle applause, because you don't want to not applaud, because otherwise it's horrible for that person. But yeah, like I I mean, it was weird because I don't understand what's going on. I don't even know if he thought it was funny. What it felt more like he had been dead to go on and do this.
Yeah. I mean, is that courage or delusion?
I think it might be a bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see the funny side of it. And also, isn't Zorro? I know, we're showing our ages a little bit. I'm chucking myself in the young band camp, even though I'm 33. I'm still young, fuck it. Zorro's no longer relatable.
Yeah, I don't like. I can't remember when the last time there was a Zorro thing. It must have been in the 90s.
Yeah, where's the last time someone dressed up as Zorro?
Like the closest I think you could get to Zorro being for the youth would be Puss in Boots, because that's obviously a big Zorro reference. Like when he's like Puss and he carves the P into the tree. But
Good. Yeah.
but no one, kids aren't going to understand that. They're
But
going
how
to
could you
if it,
dress as Puss in Boots unless you're just wearing boots and a hat and you're naked?
I mean, that would have been funnier.
Fair. Well, it might be coming in
I
your
think,
ginger mate. Right,
yeah,
we're.
yeah. I might suggest it to him. I might be like, wait, Ben, I've got a fantastic idea for you.
Are you sitting down? Are you ready for this?
And then I stitch him up, and then I send him to a local primary school. Oh, why is Ben on a list? Well, funny you should say that.
Don't know. Don't know. I've never trusted
No
him
idea.
from the get-go.
I think he was on drugs. He showed up at the primary school after the kids wanted to join the Church of Puss.
I was all waiting for Zorro, for fuck's sake.
He told me about it. I said, maybe don't do that, mate. Maybe wear some clothes. And he said, no, no, they're gonna love it.
I've got a friend, can't tell you who, he promised me this would kill. So, guys, we'll re-humble you now. I always ask this question at the end. It's my
Yeah.
favourite question. It's a two-parter. Don't really give a shit about the first bit, but I asked to be nice. What's been your favourite moment on stage as a comedian, and what time have you bombed the hardest?
Okay. My favorite moment on stage, like when I'm on stage, or just what I've seen.
When you've been on stage, your personal
When I
moment.
My favorite personal moment when I've been on stage, I think I think it has got to be the first gig I did with
Mm.
that ultra, because it was at the Backyard Comedy Club,
Okay.
and it was just that moment you got the first laugh, and it was at the end, and it had been like 8 weeks of work. It's been a dream of mine since as long as I can remember, and it went really well. The audience applauded. I got whoops, cheers. People came, like, I got off stage. The other comedians were all waiting. They all came and give me a massive group hug because I was the person that fucking did it. I was the first person to do it, and it just felt like I genuinely, like, this is. I'm a really cool dude. All right, I'm a big man. I went outside and cried because
Oh,
I think it was like,
lovely.
I think it was the overwhelming. I think it was like the adrenaline, and then all of the emotions came flooding out of like, oh, like it's happened. Like I've done it. It went well. It went better than I expected. This is a thing I'm definitely going to do. It felt like the moment where you're like, I found my thing. I found what I think I was put on earth to do. It's
Mm.
the audience can't. I assume the video is not recorded. I'm doing speech marks. I'm not like one of them knobby hippie, like it's what I was put here to do.
Dude.
Yeah, pulls out a zoo.
Yeah.
So I was put on this earth for this. But yeah, I felt. Yeah, I think that was the greatest moment so far. Every moment's been great, but I just feel like that first moment, it was just that rush of like, fuck yeah. I felt like a rock star.
I'm gonna guess. How did I'm gonna quickly guess? Did the second gig bring you back to reality?
No, like, so I've never
Not saying you're not a rock
particularly,
star, dude. By the way, do you know what I mean? I'm Team Howard, but
yeah. it So obviously it didn't feel, because I felt like it got to the point where it was like it didn't get bigger.
hmm.
Like I feel like some people do have that deluded sense of reality where they're like, oh, I'm gonna do this gig and it's gonna go this well, and then the next gig's gonna be like this, and it's gonna go up and up and
Yeah,
up, and 10 gigs in, I'm gonna be live at the Apollo, and like
yeah. It's a
there's not,
grind.
yeah. Um, so I feel like it didn't necessarily like humble me, but I think it did sort of like in my brain go, ah, yes, I understand. It's still hard work. You still got to put the work in.
Mm.
Like I'm not gonna become Jimmy Carr off of one gig. Not that I thought I was, but I think it just sort of refocused the mind back on cool. Now I've got to work. Now I've got to work for it. And I don't think I've ever particularly like bombed on stage. I've never been booed off. Um, like even when I do have a joke flop, I am normally able to bring it back because I always go for the method of the shit sandwich. Of I know this joke at the start, I know I've never had an audience not like this. This joke at the end, I've never had an audience not like this. So I've never bombed in that sense. But in terms of flops, I think it has literally got to be that the beat the blackout just
Yeah.
when the audience when I got voted out. Not that it was a bomb because again it's subjective. And
Gotcha.
I had a few people come up to me afterwards and there was I don't think you should have got voted out by the three judges. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have voted you out. So it wasn't the whole audience, but those three people particularly didn't like me, and that's absolutely fine. It did make me feel a bit. It sort of brought me down a bit,
Mm.
especially because most of my gigs my girlfriend comes to me with. That one she hadn't come with me, so then it was just a very like, oh well, I've got to get the train an hour journey back home and just stoop. Like I didn't have anyone to talk to. I was just sat on the train like, no,
Mm.
I feel like a bellend. It could have been a lot worse. I could have got booed off stage. Someone could have come up to me afterwards and punched me in the head, and then I had to get on the tube home. I just got plunged into darkness and sent off stage. That was it. It weren't that deep, but it was just sort of yeah. It was the stewing in it. I think was like, oh, well, on to the next one.
When that's
But yeah,
all, the main thing is on to the next one, on to the next
yeah,
one, and then yeah,
yeah,
just keep doing enough. And yeah, I mean, and also that's gong shows, gladiator, and it also heavily dictates on not dictates. It also heavily depends on who's got the gongs, who's the crowd of that night, and
yeah.
so yeah, it can be no true testament to someone's comedic skills. I mean, do you know Ali Woods?
Yes, I love Ali Woods.
I've had him on, absolute lad. His first two gong shows, he got gonged off.
Yeah, exactly. Like it
And
happens to
someone
the
tell me he's
best.
not great. Someone tell me he's not an amazing comedian.
Yeah,
He got gonged off. Like,
exactly.
do you know what I mean? It
Yeah,
happens to the best of us. Like,
yeah.
so, yeah, 100.
We're all learning,
Exactly. And
sort of
no one
thing,
is the
and you
finished
you can't
article.
learn have those.
Mm. Right, go on, Alfie. That's all we've got time for, brother. Thank you ever so much for coming on. I appreciate this. And yeah,
Thank
if
you.
you want to watch Alfie or follow him, all his details will be in the description below. And yeah, gigs on Essex. He has his own night. What's your night called?
It's called Gits and Shiggles because I'm not allowed to write shit in front of the children.
Bastards. Absolute
I know.
bastards. Yeah, so all the information will be below. If you can go check him out. And yeah, bro, cheers for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude.